Now the floor is given to Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson on ATO-related issues. Welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. During the last 24 hours, as during previous days, unfortunately, once again, New Year and Christmas ceasefire once again was not observed. The positions of the armed forces of Ukraine yet again came under shelling of Russian occupation forces, including with the use of weapons of prohibited caliber. Now, information in more detail. The Lugansk sector, nearly during the last 24 hours, the ceasefire was observed, but at about 11 p.m., the enemy once again proved that they do not intend to adhere to ceasefire in full, and the enemy opened fire at our positions near Lugansk using 120mm mortar and large caliber machine gun, and the enemy launched at our positions 10 mines. And in the Donetsk sector, there were 2 shellings delivered by the enemy, and these ceasefire violations were recorded at 6:30 and at noon. And our servicemen in the region of Butivka mine came under enemy fire. The occupants used practically all the spectrum of small arms and mortars of 82mm of caliber and launched 6 mines. Overall, during the last 24 hours, the Russian occupation forces delivered 3 shellings of our positions along the line of confrontation. All of them were precision ones. The servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine fully adhered to a ceasefire and didn't return fire. During the last 24 hours, fortunately, in the result of military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed, but in enemy shelling near Butivka mine, 1 Ukrainian serviceman was wounded. He was promptly delivered to medical institution, where he was provided with necessary medical assistance. Now his state of health is assessed as satisfactory. According to information provided by main intelligence department of MOD, in units and large units of so-called 1st and 2nd Army Corps of Russian occupation forces, the level of moral and psychological state and military discipline among the military personnel continued to decrease. The number of cases of AWOL and desertion is on the rise. And this week, in one of the frontline units of so-called 1st Army Corps, the majority of the militants went AWOL. Russian commanders were forced to promptly carry out unscheduled rotation of all the servicemen of this unit. On the 4th of January this year, servicemen of one of the units of so-called 1st Army Corps of the enemy demonstratively blew himself up on a hand grenade. He committed a suicide after his command once again rejected his early discharge from so-called service, and the commanders tried to hide the reason of this incident, pretending that this was arms mishandling. And at that they backdated the discharge of this militant. And at the same time, in the freed territories of the Donetsk and Lugansk oblasts, they continue humanitarian demining as well as marking of identified suspicious and dangerous areas. As of 1st of January 2018, the groups of demining of the armed forces of Ukraine, State Special Service on Transportation, Paratechnical Units, State Service of Ukraine and Emergency Situation demined 26,000 hectares, deactivated and destroyed about 326,000 explosive objects, and cleared 1,100 kilometers of roads and 18 kilometers of railroads, and they checked 106 facilities of civil infrastructure. And based on one of the medical points of battalion of one of the mechanized brigades that complete the tasks at the line of confrontation, they held practical training in tactical medicine, and our servicemen rehearsed provision of pre-medical help to servicemen in combat actions and their evacuation to safety zone. No questions, thank you.